Good morning, my dear students. Again, we are on another session of online class and we continue our discussion on chemical equilibrium. So, we have seen for a particular reaction, A moles of A react with B moles of B, reversibly gives C moles of C and D moles of D. If we consider this as a gaseous reaction, we cannot use the term Kc for calculating or finding out the equilibrium constant. Why? Because Kc is the equilibrium constant when we are considering the molar concentration or number of moles per liter. If in this particular reaction all the concentrations are expressed in moles per liter, we could use equilibrium constant Kc is equal to product of the molar concentration of the product to the product of the molar concentration of the reactant. But when we consider gaseous reactions, the moles per concentration or moles per liter cannot be used. Instead, we have to use partial pressures. Thus, for a equilibrium which is represented by partial pressures, or we could say for any gaseous reactions which is at equilibrium, we have to use the term Kp, and Kp is equal to product of the partial pressures of the products. Partial pressure of C into partial pressure of D divided by partial pressure of A into partial pressure of B. We know C and D are the products. A and B are the reactants. So we could define equilibrium constant Kp for any gaseous reaction is equal to the mathematical product of the products, that is the partial pressure of the products, divided by mathematical product of the partial pressure of the reactants. So Kp is equal to Pc raised to C into Pd raised to D divided by Pa raised to A into Pb raised to B, where Pc, Pd, Pa and Pb are the partial pressures of the products C, D and the reactants A and B respectively. So we arrived at the second equation, that is the equilibrium constant at partial pressure. If we use moles per liter as the unit for a reaction at equilibrium, we have Kc. If we use partial pressure, we have Kp. Now we move to another term, that is Kx. Kx is the equilibrium constant when we are considering the mole fraction. We know mole fraction is a concentration term. So we are considering the mole fraction of A, mole fraction of B, mole fraction of C and mole fraction of D. In any such reactions, if we consider the mole fraction and if the reaction is at equilibrium, then we use the term Kx, and Kx is equal to mole fraction of C raised to C into mole fraction of D raised to D divided by mole fraction of A raised to A into mole fraction of B raised to B. That means we could define Kx as the product of the mole fraction of the products divided by product of the mole fraction of the reactants. We know C and D are the products and A and B are the reactants. So three important equilibrium constants are there. One is Kc, another is Kp, and the third one is Kx. Take down. Now we have to establish a relationship between Kp and Kc. What is Kp? The equilibrium constant when we consider partial pressure. What is Kc? The equilibrium constant when we consider moles per liter or molar concentration. So we consider a reaction AA react with the BB reversibly gives Cc and Dd. For this particular reaction, we could express Kc is equal to product of the molar concentration of the product raised to their powers divided by product of the molar concentration of the reactants raised to powers. So for this particular equation, we could write Kc is equal to C raised to C into D raised to D divided by A raised to A into B raised to B. If we consider this reaction as a gaseous reactions, where A, B, C and D are gases, then the equilibrium constant become Kp. And we define Kp is equal to product of the partial pressure of the products Pc and Pd divided by product of the partial pressure of A and B. That means Kp is equal to Pc raised to C into Pd raised to D divided by Pa raised to A into Pb raised to B. Now we have to go how these two are interrelated. Now see here, when we consider any reaction, we know we have a famous equation PV is equal to nRT or P is equal to N by VRT. So as per ideal gas equation, we know PV is equal to nRT or we could say P is equal to NV by RT. If we substitute for A, Pa, partial pressure of A is equal to A, molar concentration of A. N by V is the number of moles per liter. N by V is number of moles per liter, that is the molar concentration. So we could write Pa is equal to molar concentration of A into RT. Similarly, Pb is equal to molar concentration of B into RT. Similarly, Pc is equal to molar concentration of C into RT. And Pd is equal to molar concentration of D into RT. So we could rearrange the above equation P is equal to N by V RT for different gaseous components Pa, Pb, Pc and Pd. Got it? Now substituting the values of Pa, Pb and Pc and Pd, we could submit Kp is equal to Pc raised to C into Pd raised to D divided by Pa raised to A into Pb raised to B. So for Pc we are substituting C raised to C into RT raised to C because we know Pc is equal to molar concentration C into RT. So Pc raised to C is equal to C raised to C into RT raised to C. Similarly for Pd we are substituting D raised to D into RT raised to D. Similarly for Pa and Pb we are substituting. So we have A raised to A into RT and B raised to B into RT. So rearranging the equation, we could say C raised to C into D raised to D divided by A raised to A into B raised to B is equal to, into RT raised to C plus D divided by RT into A plus B. Because we know this equation could be rearranged and we are taking RT as common factors. Now again rearranging the equation, we could say Kp is equal to C raised to C into D raised to D divided by A raised to A into B raised to B into RT A C plus D minus A plus B. This is mathematical representation. We know what is C raised to C into D raised to C divided by A raised to A into B raised to B. This is Kc. This value is Kc. What is Kc? Equilibrium constant when we consider molar concentration. So this equation rearranges to Kp is equal to Kc into RT raised to delta N. Kp is equal to Kc into RT raised to delta N. This value become Kz. This is Kc. So Kc into RT raised to delta N. What is delta N? Delta N is the number of moles of the products minus number of moles of the reactants. Or we could say it is a difference between the number of moles of the products to the number of moles of reactants. Hence, we arrived at an equation Kp is equal to Kc into RT raised to delta N. Very important. We have to solve problems using this particular equation. In particular question, they may supply Kc for a particular reaction. So we can calculate Kp if we know the value of delta N. What is delta N? The difference in the number of moles of the products and reactants. You got it? Got it? Take down. Now see here, we have to see the relationship between Kp and Kx. So we know Kx is the equilibrium constant when we consider the mole fraction, and the relationship is Kp is equal to Kx into P raised to delta N. Listen carefully. Kp is equal to Kx into P raised to delta N, where P is the total pressure and delta N is the difference in number of moles between products and reactants. So we have seen two relationships. One is Kp is equal to Kc into RT raised to delta N, and the second relationship is Kp is equal to Kx into P raised to delta N. These two equations are very important. So they may ask the problems relating Kp and Kc as well as Kp and Kx. Got it? Okay. Now consider the effect of temperature on equilibrium constant. When we consider a equilibrium reaction, there is a forward reaction as well as there is a backward reaction. If Kf is the rate constant of the forward reaction and Kb the rate constant of the backward reaction, we could say K is equal to Kf divided by Kb. That is the rate constant of forward reaction divided by rate constant of the backward reaction. So for an exothermic reaction, the delta H is negative. That means the rate constant of the forward reaction decreases with increase in temperature. Listen carefully. The rate constant of the forward reaction decreases with increase in temperature. See here, this Kf decreases with increase in temperature. So what happened? The K value will decrease. That means the equilibrium constant will decrease as the temperature increases if the forward reaction is exothermic. If the forward reaction is endothermic, then Kf increases with increase in temperature. So what happens? The equilibrium constant value K increases. So whether the forward reaction is exothermic or endothermic, that predicts the value of equilibrium constant. Now we are going to derive the equation connecting free energy and equilibrium constant. So take down your pen and take it slowly step by step. It is derivation. I hope you could easily follow it. See here, we are going to see the Van isotherm. So it is a quantitative relationship. It is a quantitative relationship of free energy change of a chemical reaction. And it was given by Van Hoff. So consider a equation AA plus BB reversibly gives CC plus DD. For this particular reaction which is at equilibrium, let AA, AB, AC and AD are the chemical activity or activities of the reactants A, B, C and D respectively. So this AA is the activity. We have an equation GA is equal to G0 plus RT ln A. So for a particular substance, the free energy is equal to standard free energy plus RT into logarithm of the activity. So we are considering A, B, C and D and substituting in this equation. So the free energy GA is equal to G0A plus RT ln AA, where Ga is the free energy of the reactant A, G0 is the standard free energy, R is the universal gas constant, T is the temperature and ln is the natural logarithm, AA is the activity. Similarly, we could substitute for the reactant B, reactant C and reactant D. So we have four equations for free energy of A, free energy of B, free energy of C and free energy of D. So free energy of any system or any particular reactant is equal to standard free energy of that reactant plus RT into logarithm activity. Now we are going to substitute the values of this reaction. Take down. See, the change in free energy of any system is equal to change in total free energy of the product minus total free energy of the reactant. So to calculate the delta G, that is the change in free energy of any system, we have to consider the free energy of the product and the free energy of the reactant. We take the difference between the free energy of the product and free energy of the reactant, and we will get the free energy change delta G. So product side we have Gc and Gd. Reactant side we have Ga and Gb. So we are substituting the value of Ga, Gb and Gc and Gd here. Substituting the values we know Gc is equal to G0C plus RT ln AC raised to C. Similarly, Ga is equal to G0A plus RT ln A. So we substitute the values and we get delta G is equal to delta G0, that is the standard free energy change of products and reactants, plus we are taking all RT as constant, RT ln activity of the products divided by activity of the reactants. So we could say the change in free energy of any system is equal to change in standard free energy of the reactants and products plus RT into logarithm of activity of products divided by activity of the reactant. This equation is called Van 't Hoff isotherm or reaction isotherm. This is called Van 't Hoff isotherm or reaction isotherm. See here in this equation, if the activity of all the reactants or products are unity or 1, we could say change in free energy is equal to standard free energy change. When the activity is different, the standard free energy term should be added with a value of RT ln. So we could say for any reaction, if the activity of the reactants and products are same, then the free energy change is equal to standard free energy change. Delta G is equal to delta G0. Take down. Now see here, when any system is at equilibrium, we know the change in free energy is 0. In thermodynamics, we have seen for any system at equilibrium, the condition is that change in free energy is 0. Delta G is equal to 0. So in this particular equation, when we say delta G is equal to 0 and ln activity of the product by activity of the reactant is equilibrium constant Kc or Kp. So we could say 0 is equal to delta G0 plus RT ln Kp or Kc. Rearranging, we could say delta G0, that is change in standard free energy for any system at equilibrium. Listen carefully. Change in standard free energy delta G0 for any system in equilibrium is equal to minus RT ln equilibrium constant Kc or Kp. So we arrived at an equation, the change in standard free energy is equal to minus RT ln Kp or Kx. Very, very important. So my dear students, thank you. Thank you for being with me. We will continue our discussion in the next class. Thank you once again.